Kuphina kuphi emakhaya amadolobheni asekoplasta khona sangena thina ke mavulandlela and a warm welcome to this week's edition of Yilungelo Lakho. It's your right. Sihlele kwenu lethela ke njalo ngeliviki tindzaba texwayiso nako konke lokuthinza wena nemalungelo akho njengemthengi. Mina ke ngisimpiwe Ngcongwane. Mbukeli ingabe wenda njani uma ke i-funeral policy yakho noma ke umshwalensi wekungcwaba phecelezi masingcwabisane uma ke ukwehlisa ukwenyusa ukubhekisa lena uma sekumele ukukhokhele tindleko temngcwabo. Asasingena endzabeni yethu ke namhla kuva ke ngesihlakalo lesavelela nange umndeni walapha eJozi. Umshwalense wekuthi umuntu abekwe endlini yakhe yekugcina phecelezi i-funeral policy sekwaba ke yinto bantu labanengi lesebathembele kuyo ukuthi ke umuntu angcwatshe ngesizotha. Kepha ke akuzange kubahambele kahle ke kulona mndeni waseSoweto baphatheka kabuhlungu ukuthi i-funeral policy yabo libayithatha yehluleka ukubhadala tindleko. So how do you deal with being left in limbo at the time of need by a funeral policy, all because the covered person has not yet turned 18 years of age yet?
Still kwabe kuthiwa abantwana abazimayina kufuneka i-letter of authority or i-guardianship letter. So ke i-guardianship letter siyesaya sawenza ke magistrate court. Masifika pha bathi bona ingxaki yona ayizuphuma same time. Izophuma after 4 months, i-process thatha mhlambe 3 to 4 months. Thina sifuna ungcwaba ngoku.
Ulusapho zange lwayicinga into yokwehlelwa inhlungu egqitha ukusweleka komnye wezalamane zabo. Luthi lwayamkela yona into yokushiywa ligazi labo kodwa kwalandela oko yaba sisimanga. Bangena bephuma kwi-office nge-office kuquka ne-insurance befuna nje imali yokuqhuba umngcwabo.
Uma sengiyosubmit bathi bona since involve abantwana abazimayina izoqala ithunyelwe kwa legal aid abantu abazoyenza iprocess yonke. And then saya kwa legal aid safike sabanikeza documents zakwa master basinike bathi sifike sibanikeze zona. Sabanikeza and then bathi izothatha isikhathi i-process. Bazoqala futhi case baqale bayijonge baye approve aqala since imali beyi above 250,000. So bathi bazoqala bayicheck i-process and then ke bathi abakazoqala bayi-process safuneka i-approve iqala.
Zaqenqeleka insuku neveki besiwa ngapha nangapha nasekuhlaleni kuthiwe nqa ukuba kude kusetyenzwe nini na.
Ngelixesha ifamily iziva njani kusenzeka yonke le delay and all that?
Yo hayi kwakunzima because ekhini ngifike eBhofolo ngifike nge-27 sihlalile i3 weeks sehla senyuka iveki yonke siya ekhini simane uthi uyafika kwa master kuthiwa isystem offline phinde ujike phinde ubuye ngomso futhi baphinde bafune into bebengayibalanga namhlanje babale enye ngomso. So iveki ipheyile nje sikhini every day from eBhofolo like nje be-strainer like besazazathi sithini.
Yonke lento iza kwinto yokuba xa uthatha ipolisi sikutyikitya ungakhange uhlabe imibuzo enzulu lowo ukuthengiselayo. Njengodade kaThembeka owathatha ipolisi esithi wenzela ukuba angcwatywe ngabantwana bakhe. Suke wasutywa ukufa abantwana bakhe besezimveku. Ewe udade wabomkile kodwa eshiye isifundo esikhulu.
Mina into engayisho ukuthi if uvula ipolisi like suvele nje usign or like buzi banimbuzo because ngoku bekubhala abantwana mhlambe naye bezithe mhlambe kuvele kube intelula mhlambe or azosweleka ngoku but uvele wasweleka abantwana besazimayina boyi2. So lento le isibonise ukuthi like even if abantwana babhalile mfake nomuntu omdala in case mhlambe usweleka abantwana besasebancinci. Nathi isifundise ukuthi even if umuntu uyaphangela nathi ifuneke simkhave kwathina. Singathi hayi uyaphangela uzikhavile so because ube umuntu vena la ekhaya ngikhumbula kusole kotatami nisi yami uyu umuntu ebe busy eququzele ekhavisa athi nayi vele usorted mos unepolicy zakhe. But sibonile ukuthi hayi even if umuntu enepolicy nani baninto yenu ezoba nje ukuthi nazi nimkhavile nani.
Uavoid a situation efana
uavoid esifana lesi because hayi sisokolile.
Kuvisile mdoda ilungelo lakho.
Asibonga ngalombiko manje ukukhuluma kabanti ngendzaba yethu asesimukele ke Ntombi Matsawu lo i-funeral broker sibe naye ke Thapsile Sithaba lubuya ke kwa send off siphinde samukele ke naNceba Sihlali lomeleli ihhovisi le long term insurance ombudsman yena ke uchumana nathi ke ecingweni. Thank you so much for joining us and emukele hleleni sambonana.
Sawubona njani?
Siyaphila kakhulu. Thank you so much for coming through. Nawe ke babe Sihlali sakumukela futhi ecingweni. Thank you so much for joining us.
Siyabonisa Simphiwe nakubapho lapho lenkosi.
Siyabonga kakhulu ke. Mantombi ndocela ngawe I just wanted to comment on le insert lena ukuthi ingabe ibhidlange kangakanani lenzaba ukuthi insurance ingakhokheli ke indleko temgcwabo. Just how prevalent is it?
Ngicabanga ukuthi kukaningi uthola ukuthi ama funeral policy awabhadali. Kodwa ngaphandle ukuthi engabhadali, ngicabanga ukuthi kunama terms and conditions awesuke yenza ukuthi ingabhadali. Ayimani ingabhadali ngoba ingafuna ukubhadala. Kuba sukuthi kunezinto kunemiqathango engalandelekanga mhlambe ukusukela kuthathwa ipolicy. Kanje ngokuthi ngithi mangibheka
Maphi nje ama examples nje.
Example nje njengoba ukubhalisa umntwana wakho omncane eze umuntu ibeneficiary yakho. Ngoba asazi ukuthi kuzokwenzakalana. Kungakuhle ukuthi mawuthatha ipolicy umntwana wakho umkhave. Kodwa mawufanele ukubhalisa ibeneficiary, bhalisa umuntu omdala mhlawumbe umzali uma ngabe usenabo abazali, bhalisa umuntu.
Manje ke nangabe nawuthi umntwana lomncane akumele abe i-beneficiary insurance lokho kusho ukuthini lokho? Kusho ukuthi ke insurance ngeke imbhadalele for indleko temgcwabo.
Kusho ukuthi izombhadala kodwa umntwana njengoba seseyimina ayikwazi ukuthi ivele ibhadale nje. Kuzofanele ukuthi uhambe ama offices athile uyeme court yako masters ngoba umntwana uyimina usazofuna abantu abazomela umntwana manje. Ngaleso isikhathi siyahamba wena oshonelo ufila ukuthi abangenzi kahle kanti izinto kube kufanele sisibheke from ekuqaleni kokuthathwa kwepolicy ukuthi njengoba umntwana omncane kungenzeka kuhambe mina lo mntwana esaphila ngoba ngicabanga ukuthi masithatha amapolicy sinalento ukuthi kuzohamba abantu engibakhavile uyayibona lonto leyo okuyiphutha kwakhona lokho ukuthi uma ngithatha ipolicy somebody else asazi uNkulunkulu uzokhumbula abantu. So now kule case engizwayo kuhambe umnikazi wepolicy kodwa ubhalisa abantwana as ama beneficiaries. So now kuba nzima ukuthi kuvele izinto ku process khona manje kuthiwa umncwabo khona kufanele ukuthi behambe beyoko masters kufanele ukuthi ngoba abantwana abancane kufanele kutholakala abantu abadala abazokwenza zonke lezi okuhambisa kanti ke kwa policy yona asinaso isiqiniseko ukuthi bekuyi funeral policy ezimele standalone policy noma bekuyi funeral noma bekuyi life cover ene funeral policy. Asikutholanga kahle lapha ukuthi ipolicy yona self bekuyi policy enjani.
Yeah, ngoba i-funeral cover, I mean i-life cover and the funeral policy, it's two different things. Yeah. Let me also bring you in. Ukuthi ke ungaphawula uthini ke kule insert?
Kule insert eceda ukudlala ngifuna ukuphawula that and this is one of the things prevalent is that a lot of salespeople don't do justice.
Yes.
In most cases, the client may understand ukuthi ithengani and it is your duty as a salesperson to ensure ukuthi lo muntu understand. This should not have happened. Awukwazi ukuthi wena as a salesperson you have more knowledge and information. Sure. Number one, to umama's point, a minor has cannot enter into contracts. They are not of legal age. When you need to claim, they need to sign documents. Then that way, a minor cannot be appointed as umuntu ozokwazi ukusayina because they are not of legal age to sign on any document, right? And then secondarily to that, lo muntu mabamsayinisa ukuthi athathe le cover, the salesperson was supposed to say, Mama ngiyabona uthathe cover, this is your policy document. You cannot have a minor. Achaze ukuthi a minor cannot sign on any documents. Henceforth, you cannot have them. If you do decide to fake a minor, you need to have their guardian in place so that they have the legal power because why? They have authority to sign on documents because they are of legal age.
Okay, all right. Babengceba Sihlali, let me also welcome you to this conversation. Ngiyathemba ke uyivile ke le insert. Uthini ngombono wakho noma ke ungaphawula uthini?
Enkosi kakhulu Simphiwe. Ndingaphawula njenge insert ngokuba ngokuva kwami isingathi bi funeral policy le bithathwe mama lo. Kwi funeral policies ke kufuneka uqiniseke into yokuba lo muntu umfakayo ndiyenqenelana nezithetho bese zithethile ngaphambili. Abantwana at least awunokwazi ubafake ezi beneficiaries. Especially abantwana xa be under 18 years because at claim stage uzawuhlangana nengxaki enjengale. But ke kodwa if bangaba ikhona omnye umzali usaphila like i-natural guardian kuthiwa i-natural guardian okanye utata okanye umama angakwazi ukumsayinela lo mntana asayine ukwenzela into yoba kubhatalwe ipolisi. Ngendlela endiva ngayo kuvakala into yoba ipolicy le bekulindekele nje nethi kuba ubhatalwe cha into nayo ke ngoku nxa into ba i-minors azikabi nayo i-legal capacity yokuba zingamkela imali. So indlela endiyibona ngayo umsasazi. Enye into endinoyiphawula nje endiqonda uba ababukeli funeke bayi-understande.
Yeah.
Ngokuba there's a difference between i-funeral policy kunye ne-life cover.
Yes.
I-funeral policy yile yokokubana ihlawule indleko zesingcwabo. So kubalulekile into yoba laa mali ibe available immediately xa kusweleke umuntu. So i-life cover yona there's a difference kuyo because sometimes unokufaka abantwana bakho as i-beneficiaries and i-life cover idla ngoba ibethe koma-500,000 at least ushiya laa mali for into yoba abantwana bakho bazokwazi ukuzondla baqhubekeke nge-education ngeli xesha wena uswelekile. But i-funeral policy yona yeyokuba ungcwatywe. So kubalulekile ke ngoku wena ungumthengi wepolisi uyazi uba le polisi ndiyithathela for uba xa ndithe ndatshona ndikwazi ukungcwatywa. So awunokwazi uba ufake abantwana for ipolisi enjalo, faka umuntu omthembileyo phaa. And abantu banayo i-right yokuba xa befake loo beneficiary akwazi ukuyitshintsha enze i-amendment phaa naphaa ayitshintshe i-beneficiary. Ipolicies ezininzi ziyayivumela loo nto. Enkosi ke msasazi.
All right, asishiye lapho ke stophinze sibuye kuwe ke in just a moment. Kepha kwanyalo umbukeli asibambe lapho ke sisishilela ngasetitolo. Please do join us after this break. Leli Yilungelo Lakho, don't go away. Sakwamukela futhi mbukele njengenjwayelo mbukele ke lesi sikhathi sekuthi ke nawe ke ungaba ingcenye lesihlelo singivulele icingo ukuthi ke nawe ke ubeke umbono wakho ungasishayela icingo khona manje lapha e-studio ku-011-714-0671 noma ke 011-714-0672 ungasithumela futhi ne-WhatsApp ku-060-844-9857 ungasithumela futhi ne-email ku-consumer@sabc.co.za ungasithinza futhi ke enkundleni yethu yokuxhumana ku-Facebook. Now singakangeni ke sithi shica kule nkulumo yethu ke ngifuna ukuthi sichaze kabanti ukuthi yini umehluko emkhathini kwe-funeral policy ne-funeral cover kanye ne-life cover ngoba ngathi ngematem lamaningi lasebenziswa kuloko.
I-funeral policy i-policy esiza makuvela isifo nje uma uvelelwa isifo iyona policy ezokusiza in terms of ukungcwaba ngaleso sikhathi. I-life cover i-policy ezobhadala wena usungasekho, ibhadala abantu mhlawumbe abantwana bakho or abazali bakho. I-life cover le akusi funeral cover kodwa kuyenzeka ukuthi uma uthatha i-life cover kube i-life cover enayo that portion ene-funeral cover ngaphansi kwayo okungukuthi nanomehluko omunye futhi if that life cover ayiveli ibhadale same time.
Yes.
Iya investigate ngithi yona i-life cover ukuthi umuntu kwenzakaleni ukuze ashone. Kodwa i-funeral
it can take months, 2-3 months or even longer.
Yes. Nakhona indaba noma kuyipolicy i-funeral cover kufanele kusaze kwaze ukuthi umuntu i-cause of death bekuyini. Uyayibona ngoba nakho lokho kuyayidelaya ipolicy ukuthi ibhadale. Uzothola ukuthi umuntu uswelekile i-funeral policy uswelekile umuntu kodwa akaka kuba ne-period mawuthatha ipolicy ngithi maybe 6 months period waiting period uthola ukuthi ayikakapheli i-period leyo kodwa usweleka ngengozi accidentally kodwa akakayenzi 6 months iyambhadala i-funeral policy. Ngikhuluma nge-funeral policy kodwa bese kuba khona futhi umuntu osweleka naturally eseyenzile 6 months iyambhadala i-funeral policy. Kube khona umuntu osweleka nge-natural kodwa engakayenzi 6 months ayibhadali. Isiyaqala ke lapho inkinga manje mina as i-client ngazi ukuthi ngine-policy uma ngishona izongibhadala. Ngicabanga ukuthi izinto okufanele ukuthi ama-advisors basikhulume batshela ama-client ukuthi mamela uma kuso iyabhadala uma kunje ingabhadala. Bese kuba kuye futhi funeral cover ngise ku-funeral cover ngayikuyi-life cover kube ne-situation lapho umuntu azosweleka mhlawumbe uswelekele estradeni angatholakali kungenzeka ukuthi usekayenzile 6 months or angakayenzi 6 months. Ngiyakhumbula nje ngakungaba ne-incident enjalo. Uswelekile, ifamily yazi ukuthi uswelekile. Kodwa lo muntu usweleke kwipolicy yakhe yakubo akakayenzi 6 months. But now usweleke ngone-accident udutshuliwe.
Yes.
Akakayenzi 6 months. Utholakala after 6 months now ukuthi lo muntu wasweleka. But ipolicy ayingakayenzi i6 months.
Right.
Ngenhlanhla yokuthi manje lo muntu udutshuliwe izobhadala i-funeral policy. Kube ne-incident is2. Umuntu uswelekele estrad utholakala estrad and ifamily yazi bathola after a very long time ukuthi umuntu ushonile. But umuntu mayeshona ngithi kubizwa amaphoyisa. Sekuzodependa kwi-police report now. Ukuthi izothini i-police report. I-police report izothi wathola enengozi or wathola ezilalele washona.
Okay.
Uma ngabe let's say ipolicy is above 6 months now, but yena usweleke within 3 months policy commencile iqalile.
Yeah.
Kodwa it's natural now. But yena utholakala after 6 months. But usweleke naturally.
Okay.
Yabona ukuthi ifamily yaqala ifamily yazi ukuthi ipolicy yakithi ina 6 months izosingcwabela ifuneral.
Kuna nayo inkholo letside ke lethi bantu kumele bangcwatshwe within 24 hours of death. Ingabe ke ipolicy lapho isebenta na kunjani? Ngoba ipolicy can take up to 48 hours.
Yes, nje ipolicy isebenza ithatha up to 48 hours.
What then happens in that regard?
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi mhlambe ngokwenkolo yakho banawo ama policies wabo ngisingazike. Kodwa mina la ngikhona ithatha 48 hours ipolicy.
Okay.
Maybe basuke bena ukhesh okungcwaba bona ngapha sepha ngoba if kukanjalo into fast le yazisisa obviously isuke ingakabhatali.
Yes. Okay. Tapsile njoba bengichazile ke phambilini ukuthi ke ubuya enkampanini lekuthiwa ke i-send off. Yini ke i-send off and yenda msebenzi muni?
Okay. Can I ngicela ukugcwalisela enkulumeni kamama then I go
Please,
back to
go
explaining
ahead.
send off.
Yeah.
And to go back to your questions, engifuna ukuyicacisa kahle ne is that kunento ebizwa nge-burial cover. That is mostly found kuma funeral homes. That is where lobo khuluma ngabo balenkolo ye 24 hours babhalisa khona. I-burial cover is not an insurance cover. Ibhadala with a burial and not cash. So an insurance and a funeral cover, that is where now kunama underwriting process, that is where now kunama claims process, and i-payout yakhona will never be a funeral, it will always be cash. That is a funeral cover, right?
Okay.
And the cash imele contributed towards the funeral and nothing else. And then when we speak about life cover, think of it today, we are sebenza, right?
Yeah.
In the event of your passing, God forbid, normally when we sikhuluma kanje and wenza example ngomuntu ophilayo, abantu bathanda ukuthi God forbid, uthi ngiyazi uyachaza mara ungafaki phakathi. So it's in so it happens ukuthi I pass on. Remember, I'm a breadwinner at home.
Yes.
Yimi enginakekela abantu, yimi engibhadala ama bills, ngine-bond, abantwana baya esikolweni bane-school fees. So i-life cover becomes a substitute income yami. So konke bengokubhadalela ngisaphila, i-life cover yenza kanjalo. Right? That payment life cover comes in bese iyabhadala.
Lokusho I benefit mine.
No.
I benefita ke ma beneficiaries are children and family and parents etc.
Yakho. So yona iuwe in a money form.
Yes,
You understand that to cover your expenses. Now the other problem engifuna ukubeka la is that people don't structure that money. That's why I seen I breach today kungene 3 million rand. You have never seen 30,000 rand. Makugena 3 million and ayistructuranga leyo mali. Obviously, ngizoyidla leyo 3 million, forgetting what? It's a substitute of my income. Meli last ibhadale, for example, you stay in an estate, ibhadala ama estate levy, ibhadale ama rates and taxes, isa abantwana esikolweni. So that is where the problem lies. That is where mele sifundisa abantu basemakhaya ukuthi what are these products and what are they supposed to do? Because to your question earlier on, abantu abaningi ba undercovered. I can tell you today, mahal, ayikho umncwabo we 10,000 rand. We understand. Awukho at all in the market. So umuntu akayenzi research athi ngihamba ngiyothatha funeral cover ngizabona ngizagcwalisela, but you don't have an idea ukuthi malini ukuhlela umncwabo. You know, that is where the problem is. Now coming back to your question, yes, send off. So send off you were a platform and an app that digitizes the whole death care value chain. So sibonile that need in the market ukuthi where do you go centrally to find the right cover, compare prices? uye uyobheka the right funeral homes, so that, and that's why ngichaze that thing first, ukuthi, so that when you take that cover, you already have an idea ukuthi imingcwabo yimalini, because death care is interlinked. Gonke. When you take a cover, that cover is supposed to pay for the funeral. Now you can't take a cover name, not knowing what malini funeral. We understand.
Yeah.
And then we move also to a life cover. You can't go and take a life cover when you actually don't understand what needs to be taken care of mangeko. Because you are humble, you 31 million. But Mausapila per year, it costs about 2 million rand to take care of your kids. So you're already running at a shortfall the very same year. So that is why we decided to have that app, not only to sell products, but to educate people around the value care yet they change.
Okay. But let me also bring you into this conversation. Ukuthi ingabe lehovisi lenu lidzingisa njani ke indzaba yokuthi ma insurance policies athathe isikhathi ukubhadalwa?
I-office yethu njengoba usazi idilishana nezikhalazo esifakwe about insurance companies.
Yeah.
Siziphande ke complaint, sizame ukusombulula through mediation, conciliation, or as a last resort by determination, which ukuthi ke senza i-provisional determinations, siqala ngayo, then if bangaba iyaphikiswa lo provisional, senze ke ngokwi-final determination. So that's part of the complaints msasazi. Umuntu sifumane i-complaint mhlambi via fax, via email, ezinye ke ngokwe-telephone numbers. Sizithumele ke kwi-insurance companies, sibanike ixesha loba baqale bazame ukusombulula lo complaint ethe yafakwa against bona. Sibanike mhlambi period ye-6 weeks. Xa bebuya back, if uba mhlambi akukabikho sivumelwano, siqalise ke ngokwe-process yethu, sifune mhlawumbi uba kukhona further information efanele siyifumane, ama-policy document, sijonge ke ngoku uba ngaba ingxaki lelephi, kulapho ke ngoku sisenza khona isindululo sethu utsho ukuthi i-ruling yethu.
Okay. So what are some of the, big issues or big complaints that you've had to deal with?
Asininzi kakhulu umsasazi, non-disclosure, ezinye mhlawumbi i-terms and conditions are not met, i-values, ezinye credit life. So sidilishana nento ezininzi umsasazi.
Ungaqhubeke na ukhuluma ke nge-non-disclosure ukhuluma ngani so that we have an idea?
Okay, xa ndithetha nge-non-disclosure ndithetha ngoba umuntu mhlawumbi ufumanisa into yoba akhange adisclose, athethe i-correct, anikeze i-insurance company at the application stage i-information correct. So kwaleke ngoku xa sekufikelela e-claim stage, kulapho ke ngoku kuvalidate le policy. And omnye esinye isithetho besike sayimention apha ngaphambili xa kujongene ne-life cover, because i-life cover kulapho kuye kwenziwe lento kuthiwa i-underwriting. Ubuza imibuzo, mhlawumbi uba isigulo wake wanaso isigulo ngaphambili, isigulo esinje nesinje. If uba mhlawumbi uye wanikeza nge-information engekho right, bazayifumana la information at claim stage. So ndiyacebisa into yoba abantu xa bethatha i-life cover, uba kukhona i-questions umuntu azibuzwayo, umuntu maka disclose i-information correct, because base kuclainywa abe yena akasekho ngelo xesha and ushiye abantu bathembisile into yoba ndishiye le policy ezawuthi jongane nani ndisakube ndingekho, isuku idecline ke ngoko ngenxa into yoba khange banikeze i-correct information.
Okay. Alright.
Enye into ebendifuna uke ndiyiphakamise wena Simphiwe into yokuba kukhona i-complaints apha e-ofisini ecaba noko ziliqela siyazifumana, i-complaints ezimalunga ne-insurable interest, and ezo complaints zirelate apha kwi-funeral policies.
Okay, ngicela ubambe lo mbono wakho ke sitawuchubeka emva kwaleli khefu. We have to take this break now, but thank you so much for staying with us. Simbukeli sithi ke shelele ngasetitolo hlala kanye nathi kungasabu siyabuya khona manje.
Yilungelo
Welcome back. Remember, our participation lines are now open for you to take part in our discussion today. Sishale ke licingo khona manje ku-011-714-0671 noma ke ku-011-714-0672. Ungasithumela futhi ne-WhatsApp ku-060-844-9857. You can also email your views to consumer@sabc.co.za or interact with us on our Facebook page. Let's take our first caller. Sinalo Nosizo ulapha ke eThulu e-Eastern Cape. Sakomukela ehleleni, sawubona. Nosizo eThulu, sawubona. Nosizo eTholo, sawubona. All right, asimthole ke Nosizo. Asiqhubeke nenkulumo yethu ke. Before that break besikhuluma kana nababenqaba sihlali, he spoke of some of the reasons for insurance policy not to pay out. Ukhulume ke ngenzaba nge-non-disclosure, kungayichazeli ke insurance company yakho before uthathe i-policy of certain issues concerning your life, be it health or any other issue. Ngimaphi ke lamanye ama-reasons lenda ukuthi i-insurance ingabhadali?
Kuba nezinto eziningi enza ukuthi i-policy ingabhadali. Njengakho lokho ukuthi uma ngabe ungazange uba udisclose ukuthi mhlambe ngiyagula nani, but kakhulu kwi-funeral akubi nawo lento. Kwi-funeral sibheka nje ukuthi i-cause of death ebe yini, i-natural, i-period uyenzile, i-waiting period yakho i-above yona iyabhadala. So ezinye izinto yikho kungafundiseki kwethu singumphakathi ngempela into yama-policies asiyazi kahle ngoba kwesinye isikhathi sithatha ama-product esingawazi. Ngicabanga ukuthi umsebenzi wama-advisors ukuthi uma efika kwi-client akafika ahlale ne-client akabheke i-client ukuthi unani, ngoba uthola ukuthi unama-policies umuntu aka-check ukuthi kuma-policies wakhe imaphi akubhalansi, izinto zakhe azibhalansi. Ayibe khona i-funeral cover to those standalone funeral cover ikhona la, akube khona i-life, akube khona investment. Ungatholi ukuthi i-client inama-funeral covers ayi-13 ama-debit orders, lapho ukhave uthola ukuthi yena akazikhavile. Kuyenzeka uthathele umzali, ngithathele ubhuti wami, ngithathele ubani bani, mina engikho. Maka aqala shona as a family, thina simazi ukuthi unama-policies, asazi ukuthi in details ama-covers wakhe anjani. Ngenhlanhla kunezinto mhlambe ngazifuna ngaziphanda kakhulu ngale family besikuyo, ngichecka ama-policies ukuthi kwenzakaleni.
Okay.
Yayibona lonto.
Now, I'm actually clear ukuthi urezeke leli point lelo ukuthi abantu banema funeral cover lang 13. Itsini ke i-limit yebantu lo ngabafaka ku funeral policy yakho? Noma ke is it advisable to have a funeral policy lang 10? Noma ube ne funeral policy yinye and cover 10 people?
Mina bengathi ku-advisable ukuthi ibane mhlambe iba nama funeral policies ayi-2 nama companies ayi-2 ahlukene. Ngoba amanye enza umsebenzi as a whole, enza i-funeral as a whole, amanye adjust akuphi imali. But now uma umuntu uzothi uyabheka unama-funeral covers ayi-10, ngibona ngathi ama-advisors wakhe, whoever omthathisa ama-policies akam-advise ngokwanele, because you can't ukuthi ube nama-policies ama-funeral covers agcwele i-payslip wena wedwa nje. And nakhona check-a ukuthi lama-covers azomsebenzela yini. Nawe mnikazi wama-cover musukujabuliswa ukuthi ngiyathatha, angazi ngithatha ini. Noma mhlambe kwesinye stage sijabuliswa ukuthi ngikhava ubhuti. Mina thina-ke singumphakathi sinalento ukuthi ngifuna ukukhava ukhazini mina, kodwa I'm not there, ngizokhava ubhuti wami mina ngingeni kwi-police. And thina as a family asikwazi lokho. Now sekushona mina engikhava okhazini engingakhavanga abanye. Lapho kuba nenxaki khona. Nina as a family nazi ukuthi unama-policies, but anazi in detail ukuthi who is covered in those policies.
Okay.
Ifika ibe inkinga lapho. Masifika egcineni ukhave abo-brothers, ukhave ama-siblings, yena akekho uyi-beneficiary yena.
Kepha-ke ngemthetho wemshwalense ikhona ne-limit yokuthi ngakhava abantu abangaki?
Ikhona i-limit ukuthi ngakhava abantu abangaki, kodwa ayikho i-limit ezokushayela umthetho ukuthi ungangeni ku-1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Ungazithathela ama-funeral policies ayi-20 with different companies, you understand?
Okay.
Thola i-advisor e-right, thola i-broker e-right ezokutshela ukuthi no, balansisa izinto zakho. Mina nginawo ama-clients, I go to ngisebenza lapha phansi, ngiyaba-advise ukuthi you know what, ngicela ukuthi izinto zakho masibhalansi. Ungafiki ngiya-check ukuthi njengoba ufuna ipolicy ngifuna ini, ngifuna i-funeral, sibambe ngifuna i-funeral cover, ngi-check ukuthi ikhona nenye onayo. Uma unayo ukhave bani nobani. Okay. Waqala wathi ngifuna ukukhava ubhuti wami mina ngikho ku-police, kuqala kimi lokho kube inunu ngoba angikwazi ukuthi ngikhave somebody else mina ngingazikhavile.
Okay, all right. Asesichubeke na first caller wethu ke sinaye Well, we've got our first caller, Nosizo. Ulapha ke eTsolo sekomolo ehlweni sawubona.
Yebo futhi siyabonga.
Khuluma nathi mama, what's on your mind?
Futhi udisolekile ngumazala kulonyaka kupheleyo nge-16 kaFebruary 2023. So ibe nale funeral plan ya funeral cover yakhe. Akhange sifumane imali kuye kwathiwa phayana xa siyoclaima kwathiwa kufuna incwadi yomtshato kamamazala. Umamazala ke utatazala ke ngoku wabhubha kudala asaphuma ezonto kwa-Home Affairs. Okokoko ke ngoku sisalindile kwathiwa kufuna loo ncwadi yomtshato ayikaphumiki imali kodwa kumazala samngcwaba yena.
Yo, that's a very difficult one. Incwadi yomshado ke bathi ingenaphi?
Andiyazi data ubingenaphi ngoba ngela xesha kwakusayina kwakuthiwe kufuna umuntu senso kwabhalisa umntanakhe. Umntanakhe xa eyithatha ke ngoku umntakamamazala wam eyoyifuna loo mali kuthiwa kufunwa incwadi yomtshato kamamazala ngoba thina singabantwana so umuntu uyaclainyelwe ipartner yakhe. So ipartner yakhe yasoleka kudala kuthiwa ke ngoku akutshiwo ngoku apha kwezo forms zale company.
Okay, Manusizwa, thank you so much for your call. Siyabonga kakhulu ke kuhlanganyela nathi. That's a very difficult one. And ngidawucela ngayo ke Nceba Sihlale ukuthi ke uphawule ukuthi ke ungayibona ukuthi yendiwe njani lenzaba lenjena nekuthi le office lenu, how can it help?
Manixolise kakhulu Simphiwe khange ndiuve tu umbuzo.
Okay.
Katata lo.
Okay, basically make uthi lapha wathatha i-funeral policy and then wathathela na mama zala wakhe. But then umama zala le insurance bathi bafuna i-marriage certificate ya mama zala na baba zala and father-in-law dzala ashona. So I understand ukuthi ke i-funerals, I mean i-marriage certificate ingena kanjani and then they refuse to pay out.
Nami mandingqine into ba i-complicated ngalendlela ayibeka ngayo tata. Kodwa ke if uba singafumana iinkcukacha ze-insurance sive into ba kanye intoni isizathu esibangela into ba badecline le claim, intoni isizathu esibangela into ba bafunele marriage certificate, mhlawumbi kungangcono. Kodwa ke ndisola into ba ibuyela kulaa nto bendike ndathetha ngayo ye-insurable interest. Ufumanisa uba umuntu uba ufaka umuntu kwipolisi, especially kwipolisi ze-funeral policy, umuntu insure umuntu mhlawumbi as a cousin abe mhlawumbi engekho related kulo muntu. So kubalekile umuntu ufuneke ayazi into ba u-related kulo muntu azawuthi abe uyamfaka, angathi i-cousin kanti ngumuntu nje amaziyo, mhlawumbi athi brother yakhe kanti ayo brother yakhe ngokwegazi. Mhlawumbi omnye afake i-girlfriend into ezinjalo. So I'm sure inoba loo nto leyo ilele phaa kule nto yale insurable interest because siyazifumana kakhulu ezi complaints apha eofisini about i-relationship kuthiwe no, you are not related to this person. So you have to prove ke ngokuba u-related kanjani.
Okay, no, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your comment, and I would love to get your comments as well. But after the break, let's take another commercial break. We'll be right back. Leli Yilungelo Lakho. So kumele futhi mbukele sisakhuluma ke ngama-funeral policies nekuthi ke yini lekumele ukuthi ukubukisise noma ke ukubude uma uthatha i-funeral policy. You can call our studio lines right now ku-0117140671 noma ke 0117140672. Ungasithumela futhi i-WhatsApp ku-060-844-9857. You can also email your views to consumer@sabc.co.za or you can use our Facebook page. Let's take our next caller. Sinambali ulapha ke eThekwini. Sakomole ehleleni Mbali, sawubona.
Yebo, sawubona njani?
Siphilile kakhulu Mbali, khuluma nathi mama.
Yebo, futhi no ngiyabona ngitopic engikhuluma ngayo. Mina ngithinta kakhulu nje ngoba sisanda kukhulelwa umalume manje ngoJanuary ne. So umalume ubethathe ipolicy nale company yengidalele igama layo. Ngethathe ipolicy mase thanda sizama ukuyoclaima ke ngoba ngasekho umalume. sathola ukuthi i-beneficiary ibingekho. So mangabe ingekho i-beneficiary bese enesikhathi eside nje nayo le-police. Mangabe ingekho i-beneficiary that's why siye court sifuna i-letter of authority ukuze sizokwazi uclaim. So mangabe sifika e-court basitshela ukuthi kumele sikhombane wonke ama-estate amalume ne-immediate family yakhe. So we did that. But i-court ithi mangabe i-estate yamufi ingaphezu kwa-125, they cannot help us with the case kuzomele sithole ummeli. So engikushoyo ukuthi ilo they knew ukuthi umalume akanayo i-beneficiary. It's been there for years, but they've been deducting imali for years, knowing very well ukuthi lo muntu lo akanayo i-beneficiary. Now that this person is gone, thina asikwazi ukuclaima imali. How can we pay i-lawyer ukuthi sithole le mali yokuthi sikwazi ukucover iy'koleki zemingcwabo lezi esizenzile thina? I-company is not helping us at this moment. But they've been deducting imali all this time, knowing it on their system. By verify kanjani yonke information yomuntu ingekho izinto ezigcwele ezomuntu, but it's easy for them to deduct imali. Manje now that we want to claim finale yonke inga asikwazi ukuthola imali.
Okay, Mbali, siyabonga kakhulu kusishayela. Thank you so much for that question, and I love both you ladies ukuthi ke niucatulule nimsithe futhi kulelo hlangothi. Ndawucala ngawe Thapsile.
Yes, I ngiyayithanda ukuthi umention le ndaba le because it's really not a unique case. In this instance, kube nokuthi akuna beneficiary, and bakana beneficiary, of course it goes to the estate.
Yeah.
Because they cannot pay to anyone at that particular point who was registered. So yiyo, and ngiyayithanda lo hlelo namhlanje, yiyo into esenze sibe la sofundisa abantu ukuthi some of the things that you need to look out for when you take a funeral cover, umuntu omdala athatha cover, check beneficiary. You understand? And this is not even the worst case scenario. The worst case scenario that happened ivele ku Twitter about 2 weeks ago, where some of the people abama sales people bachinja ama beneficiary abantu basifake bona. Or bafake abantu ababaziyo. And when you go back to claim, now you cannot go back to claim because awumazi loyo muntu uyomthathapi. So it is your duty to always check ama policy document. And into engihlale ngisho ukuthi I policy document is not only a confirmation ukuthi we've covered you, but it's a contract, a legal binding contract between you and the insurer. And best believe at claims point, insurer is going to pull out that contract. So if you think you are signing Ibega away, don't do that anymore. The moment you touch a funeral cover, make it your duty. Every month you check ukuthi I-beneficiary yiyo lo sayifakile, lewa ayifakile ecaleni, ayichinjanga address, ayichinjanga ama number. You need to make sure, because that's the thing, people get excited ukuthatha cover but not necessarily think about the claims process. And in most cases abantu mabathatha cover, it's very rare ukuthi umuntu abuze in that call ukuthi ngiclaima kanjani.
Okay.
Uyathatha ayibeke ayipake for later. Mase ku later it's a different case altogether. That is why usisi na yanele nkinga ukuthi kuyagijinywa manje, because why they took a policy by cover azange baloku ba check ukuthi ama beneficiary kusese yiwo.
Yes, yes.
Does this person actually have a beneficiary? Is this beneficiary not a minor? So those are the things that you need to look at. Policy document is a contract. Please make sure emakhaya, if there's one thing you take from Migule interview, hlala check a policy document, you can make sure that you are aligned and that you understand, and also the fact that lewa usana ucabanga ukuthi uzoyithola yiyo le usazoyithola.
Yes, yes. Mantobi, your thoughts?
Ngicabanga ukuthi ngizovumelana noThapsile kulokho akakushoyo. I-contract le yakho you need ukuthi ama documents wakho uwafunde, uzungayenzi imistake yokuthi awazi. Kwesinye isikhathi umuntu uthatha ipolicy akayazi nokuthi that i-company ikuphi akakaze wayibona, uthathe ipolicy nje yena. Vakashela, read your documents, iya kuma offices, checka izinto zakho. Now ama brokers nama advisors angazi ukuthi sifika kanjani lapho umuntu avula ipolicy kodwa kungena beneficiary, angazi ukuthi kusuka kanjani size sisayine kanjani, because lezo zinto isystem ayizivumi number 1 ukuthi ungathatha ipolicy ungena beneficiary. Understand ukuthi bafike kanjani lapho, kodwa ke angithi nawo ama companies abafani. And khona manje ngizolana nawe sisikhosi mawuvelelo isifo ufisa ukuthi lento iyafika iyandlula uyaqeda, but now mawusuzogijima nokuthi ugijimela into ongayazi ukuthi uzoyiwina or noma kanjani. remember makunesifo imali sokungekho definitely sokungenamali sokuthembe wona lama policies ukuthi wona azokusebenzela manje mayise kufeyila kwi claim stage it's very painful nanokuthi mina ngiyakhuthaza kakhulu yazi ibroker yakho kuba umngani wakho ukuthi noma kuthiwa ngivelelwe into manje ngiyovusa wena uyabona because wena uthunyelwe kimi akabe la eduze kopokotela kanjalo ngeke uzuhlupheke because ukhona wangithathisa ipolisi ithini into na funda ama documents I know sonke asithanda ukufunda kodwa lama contract lawo ngempela ay something engagcinena esibangela ama problems.
Okay, and I want us to talk about some of the questions to ask before uthathe i-funeral policy ukuthi kumele ngibute imibuto letsini kepha kwanyalo let's take our next caller sina Israel ulapha eGqeberha sakamukela ehlelweni Israel sawubona.
Sawubona kodwa.
Ninjani baba?
Siphilile ninjani nini?
Siphilile baba khuluma nathi baba.
Ngakholezisa futhi. Usister wami ukuphela kwakhe nami ngimphela kwakhe abashiye kule family. Uthatha iwill ebhankeni, une-shares ebhankeni, wafaka ipolisi. Zange ayifake ngakho i-beneficiary, indimi beneficiary ayikho enye ngaphandle kwami i-beneficiary. So ngenxa yokuclaim apha kuthiwa zange anibhali. Kuthi ke nazo awudinisa isidumbu ke kodwa singcwabe ngokwenu ngaloo mali. Babantu ayibhala i-beneficiary ngabayeva kule nginqabhala beneficiary kutheni nabhatala iminyaka neningambuzi iminyaka eminingi akhe ebhatala bokuyo. So befuna uqonda loo nto kuyisezahlala nomnye umuntu lelo nje ichaza apha kuwe ukuthi zange banike nyani kwamele uba ndimbhali ngcwabe ngokwami.
Okay.
Amngcwaba wandibuyisela imali yami ke ngoku after 3 months.
Okay.
Manje abachazela pha okwepolisi makangcwabeke ziyekeni iwill nezazathathe iwill ayingimi nabantwana bakasitaba nabantwana bosita wabo bayi3 kanti yekeni iwill makangcwabeke kule mali ibeke lo azangcwabe qha zange ndifumane tu ebhankeni.
Yo, Baba Israel, thank you so much, and I'm so sorry to hear that, but thank you so much for your call. Yo, that's another difficult one. And I guess it goes back to your response earlier, ukuthi ma beneficiaries ayikho. Ngidacela ukuthi uphawule kuloko, Tapsile.
To umbuzo ka Baba.
Yeah.
I think it will always go back to ekuqaleni sasithemba ukuthi the insurers will always have our best interest njengoba uMamntombi achaza ukuthi bazohlala la nathi basichasisele and siyabathemba ukuthi makenzeka into they are just a call away. Not understanding the terms and conditions and exclusions is a contract because there are certain things that are excluded. And I think Umama spoke to this fact earlier on that, and you also asked ukuthi abantu ba allowed ukuthi bathatha ama funeral cover ngakanani.
Yeah.
You can take as much as you like, but remember there is a clause from the Insurance Act 80. We pay 100,000 rand per life per underwriter. So in some cases abantu bathola ukuthi the insurers belong to the same underwriter. Now the problem is that ngiyenzele typical example. If abantwana bami bawu3 bangikhavile, right? At the same insurer with the same underwriter or at different insurers but with the same underwriter, the maximum money they can get is 100,000 rand.
Oh, okay.
So they cannot get more than that. And that is where abantu banga understand. And the problem ngale issue ngisho is that first come first serve. Ofika kuqala will get that 100,000. Abalandelayo are not getting anything. We understand ukuthi ihlupha mase ifika kuphi. But to your point again, this information mele share nama customer at policy inception to say, hey, sayibona le ID ofuna ukuyicover because we are this underwriter or because we are this insurer, because they do share information amongst themselves. Ukuthi basho ukuthi we cannot add this person ngoba angesikwazi ukubhadala. Insurance Act ayivumi ukuthi sicollect imali yakho because maso uzoclaima we can only pay 100,000. The rest of the money uzaphinde uyithola.
Sure. Please hold your thought. Hey, that is getting more difficult now. Mbukeli, asasasele carefully reflecting. Please do stay with us. Siyabuya khona manje. Welcome back to our very last segment. Saqhubeka futhi nenzaba yethu ke namhla babenqeba sihlali on Zoom. I'm going to come straight to you. Please do advise my customers and consumers alike ukuthi ke yini lekumele ukuthi bayende, yini lekumele ukuthi bayati.
Okay msasazi. Kubalulekile kakhulu xa ugqiba uthatha ipolicy yakho. kuba ubanela xesha mhlawumbi i-sales agent iza kuxelela into yoba una 48 hours uyifumane i-policy document. Uba awukhange uyifumane within la 48 hours, wena unayo i-duty kwawena as i-policy holder yokuthi ufowunele la sales agent okanye i-insurer leyo ufune i-policy document uthi awukayifumani ukwenzela uba once uyifumene la policy document uyifunde. I-policy document ikunika ke kuna 31 days kuthiwa i-cooling off period leya. Ufunde ama-terms and conditions uwa-understande. If ba awa-understand and awuyamkeli ayiyo le nto benivumele ngayo, unalo ilungelo lokuba uyikhanselishe ipolicy.
All right. Most important thing is to understand the terms and conditions. Thank you so much for joining us. Ladies, just briefly, we literally have a few seconds. Yini ke imibuto lekumele siyati before noma ke imibuto lekumele siyibute before taking up an insurance policy, just briefly?
Oh, singama client mina ngathanda ukuthi ubuze ukuthi ipolicy yami izongibhadala nini? Ingibhadala makwenze njani? Angingahlali nepolicy ngayazi ukuthi ingibhadala nini makwenze njani. Because ngizo expect ukuthi noma kwenzakalani izovela ingibhadale nje. Asibuze imibuzo sazi ngepolicy yethu ukuthi isebenza kanjani.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, but thank you so much, ladies, for joining us. Now ke babenqaba sihlali. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. Kwanyalo ke mbukeli sasifike emaphethelweni ehlelo namhla. Let me thank our studio guests for making time to be with us this afternoon. Ngisazabonga kanye nani babukeli ngekuba nathi kuze kube manje asihlangane futhi ngesikhathi lesitako. Lapha ke bahamba phambili SABC 1 Mzansi for sure. Lapho ke silethela ke lelinye ke lihlelo litawuthinza emalungelo akho wena njengemthengi silethela ke futhi lihlelo naku SABC Plus. From me, Simpio Ngongwane and the rest of the team, sizinsale kahle. Do have a great week ahead. Cheers.